I'm Marta. I am a graduate student and I'm from Padova, and I'm now here to train as a tour guide. I love this city. Dublin has changed a lot in the last few years. Even its population has doubled. Now it is one of the most progressive and cosmopolitan cities in Europe, with plenty to offer in terms of tourist attractions. I'm following a tour guiding training with Pat Liddy, and he's an institution here in Dublin. Pat is a very busy man. He is of course a tour guide, he's an historian, an artist, an illustrator. He illustrated and made one of the tourist maps here in Dublin. Pat's contributed in making Dublin one of the best global tourist attractions here in Europe. And Dublin has so much to offer. Pat Liddy conducts some walking tours here in the city, Pat Liddy walking tours. They're organized by different teams. One upcoming one is now for St. Patrick's Festival. I just loved this course because tourism is my passion. So Pat, you've been a tour guide for how many years now?
Well, I've been an historian for too many years, but I organised a tour guide company about 14 years ago.
14, okay.
And now we're the biggest in Dublin. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's amazing. You must know Dublin like your pocket. So.
Oh, well, people say I know Dublin better than anybody else, but there's still so much to learn.
Of course. What are the highlights of your tour and the spots that every tourist should see then?
Well, of course you have to see Trinity College and Dublin Castle, which is more a palace than a castle because it's more 18th century than 12th century. But there's some of the 12th century there. You have to see Kilmainham Jail. You should get out a little bit, like the Royal Hospital, which was built in the 1680s. It's our oldest public building. There's so much to see in the centre, there's so much to see just outside the centre. Dublin is fascinating place. You keep finding new places to discover.
Of course. And about that, are there any hidden corners and hidden treasures that tourists can see?
Very definitely. Now, the Chester Beatty Library, for instance, has manuscripts going back to Sumerian times, like thousands of years. and it also contains the world's oldest fragments of the New Testament written in papyrus. Also, one should go to somewhere like the Liberties, for instance.
Of course, yeah.
Right, this is a very old part of Dublin, and you have lots of antique shops and markets and all that kind of stuff. And it's where you'll find the real Dubliners.
And one question which is of high importance, what's your favourite pub in Dublin?
I've 2 or 3. Is that fair enough?
That's fair enough.
Yeah, including the smallest one, which is called the Dawson Lounge in Dawson Street, the smallest pub in Ireland.
That's interesting. And have tourists taught you anything about the city, or did you discover something more?
Well, you do see the city in the eyes of the tourist, which is lovely. And you realise Dublin is a very unique city, very different to every other capital city of Europe. And we are a very helpful, good-natured people.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You've seen this for yourself.
Yeah.
And while it's a very cosmopolitan, busy, important commercial city, you still feel people have time for you.
Yeah, true. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. The charm of traditional Irish hospitality will not be complete without the existence of thousands of pubs, which can be easily classified as the city rooms of Irish society. In Dublin alone there are 751 pubs, small and big, quaint and modern, which welcome visitors in their unique convivial atmosphere and rivers of beer. The Dawson Lounge in central Dublin is the smallest pub in Ireland, and near the Pro Cathedral there is one which is called the Confession Box, which in some strange way indicates the link between the drinking habit and the going to church practice of the mainly Catholic Irish. We're here in O'Donoghue's, arguably one of the most famous pubs here in Dublin thanks to the connection with Irish traditional music. Through the years, this pub has been a launching pad of the most famous Irish folk musicians, like the Dubliners, for example, who performed here before becoming world famous. Nearly every night, groups of musicians of all sorts gather here to perform some eternal Irish ballads.